I think this looks great. I'd like to try one where she starts opening the door a little sooner, but her head is dragging even more. So that way, we still get only the same amount of time of her face at the end, but we see more of her body and stuff when she's not looking away. So like right now, she kind of comes into the shot at about, I don't know, frame 1036. But I see what you're probably struggling with. Like she says the line kind of early, and then you kind of have to fill the scene with motion. But I'd love to find a way to have him just lunge onto the thing and then jump straight out into the distance without having to laser himself there.
There's folks all over the world working on this all the time, 24 hours, thanks to time zones. And you just get, to me, the pleasure of it is that you will look at a shot knowing that somebody spent like their week trying to make that look great. And so when you watch the film, you're watching individual artists touching the film, often for just seconds at a time, but you're seeing all of these great contributions. It's a team sport, but the team is massive.
I'm from Illinois.
We're talking about it, aren't we?
That's cool.
I mean, it's more of a meta commentary on what we call art. We're talking about it.
That's cool.
That is new.
That is.
Yeah.
Wait. But maybe we can. Would you so you would change framing to get this as opposed to being in super
So
tight?
close, I think so, yeah.
We go to 5 different universes. I think it's
it's
more now.
5 major universes in which each universe has its own style, like it was from the hand of a different artist. And that's what's special about this movie, is that we can do that in a way that other takes on multiverses can't do, is that we can have each universe be its own complete distinct look and cinematic language. And it's been really fun developing it. And there's been a little bit of time to develop and figure out new techniques and new innovations. And so now each world is wholly distinct and unique and really unlike anything you've seen before on film.
Really good. Just want to see one thing. This angle. Sick. Yeah, I think this is good. Let's show this one later too. I'm sure they'll have a little note, but I think you're in the realm. Great.
Next one is a bit character for the scale life.
Oh, nice.
You know what would be really great is you could use him, this little kid, to come around here, right?
Oh, like run from the
He
foreground?
runs, he comes into this shot and then
Sure.
come around, and then he kind of
Sure.
looks to the guy like, ooh, you know, and does that little thing. But it gives you something much more to play with,
Sure.
right? Because then he'll
Yeah, he's like,
react to that.
"Oh, yeah,
exactly.
he's like, he loses it."
Exactly. Oh, this is great.
And then she
Have them both in the
Sure.
shot, so you get that sense of ambiance,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
So it's
Same idea,
Same
same-
idea.
yeah.
Pull the
Just-
camera back a little bit, and then that way we can make this a moment, right?
Right.
It becomes about how you embrace your uniqueness, what you do with your gift that really matters. It's how you wear the mask that matters, and that's why I love the messaging of Across the Spider-Verse, because it's the decisions we make. It's character, you know, the things we stand for. That's what matters, you know. That's what matters.
One thing I loved so much about the first film was that it was very simply about the fact that everyone can indeed wear the mask. And this time around, we explore that is very much still the case, and we see that by opening up that world and opening up that idea to so many different people and cultures. And while that still remains true, it's become more about this idea of, if there are rules and they don't necessarily apply to you, you can write your own story. And we see Miles do that, we see Gwen do that, we see everyone do that, and of course in their own way, right? So it's an expansion of that idea.
Obliterated,
Right.
by that lighting. So, because right now it's like hard to, it's hard to really tell where she actually is. And then there's like the really bright core needs to stay there so that I don't have the right colors, but the idea being that she's like really strongly lit on one side, like one side is like shadowed, right? And it needs to be in the palette of what's going on in the scene, like the yellow stuff needs to take over, and then she's got like really strong heavy light on the other side, you know, that she's like trying to shield. I think go back to, I think there's something really pretty about just allowing, you know, I think that was the intent, was to like stop being, by this point in the film, things stop trying to be too literal, and it just becomes this emotional, like, palette for these moments of heightened drama.
We asked ourselves, what's the most expensive thing we could possibly write? I think that there is a value in excess, and especially in these sorts of movies, it just has to feel like it too much. Like if it just felt like he was being chased by a reasonable number of people, I don't know if it would be any fun.
Miles versus 5 spider people.
It's not that fun. We wanted it to feel super excessive.
I mean, it's, you know, the natural end of the concept of, you know, an infinite number of universes and an infinite number of spider people, and, you know, and a select bunch of those congregating in one place that Miles at first wants to be a part of and then realizes he can't be a part of and then wants to escape from, is to have it be Miles versus hundreds of spider people. And it was a really fun idea, really hard to execute.
Yeah, puts a lot of pressure on the animation team. There's lots of opportunities in there too, and you know, when you watch the movie, you go, oh, it feels like they had a lot of fun.
So there are many, many different worlds we get to travel to within this film, and yeah, it's so exciting to see all of the different animation styles. You really do feel like you are in this movie and transported into each of these different dimensions when these characters are. You get sort of taken along for this ride that is so captivating visually and so breathtaking.
When we watch this movie, we'll see, like, you know, sometimes it's not so cut and dry. It's not always black and white, you know. And I love that Miles doesn't care if you're colorblind or not, you know. I love that Miles is gonna embrace exactly. I love that Miles is gonna embrace exactly who he is and stand on what he stands for.
When you're making a movie, you want it to feel like a full emotional experience, which means you feel more than one thing. You know, you want to be able to laugh, you want to be able to cry, you want to be afraid, you want to be scared and intense. You want to have all of these feelings. So when you come out of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I just went through so much. And so to try and make the rhythm of a movie have like funny, silly moments and intense moments and heartfelt, emotional moments and make you want to cry and laugh. And the closer those things can bash up against each other, the more you feel like when you've come out of the theater, you've had a real experience.
Where do I begin? I cannot wait for audiences to see this film for so many reasons, but I would say the main one being just when I personally thought it couldn't get any bigger and better than the first one, I was so wrong. This film takes on new heights and is just so incredibly grounded in its emotion and its characters and all of these storylines. There are quite a few going on, but you never lose sight of what this film means, even with all of the incredible action and animation that just sweeps you off your feet. It's so special and exciting and electric and emotional. Again, I go back to that because it's so grounded in that. I think it's a really special film, and I think that if you loved the first one, you're gonna love this one even more.